team breakdowns, matchup by matchup. We're going to go over all the Sunday games and the Monday night game and talk about who to start, who to sit, what players you should trade for now before Week 3 kicks off, what players you might want to target when Week 3 is over because there could be a bad matchup, a slump. Sometimes there's an advantage of waiting a week before you buy low on somebody. So don't always think that just because a guy is going to be a good value later. What's going on, Juice? Juice, you're first in the house. Appreciate you dropping a thumbs up on your way in, too. Don't think I didn't notice that, Juice. Good job. What's up, Gary? Gary in the house. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited for week 3. Horrible Thursday night game. I just can't stand the Thursday night games. I don't know how they pick such bad matchups and why the teams play so badly, even if there's an okay matchup. It's awful. Every single Thursday night game is just freaking awful. I can't stand it. Vance or Delaney? Well, I hope you went Vance. What's up, Ghost? Mustache is rolling. I've been told I look like Kittle now. So we might have to do something, because I'm in Arizona, do something when the Niners visit the Cardinals here in Arizona. Maybe I do some kind of Kittle spoof over at the Cardinal Stadium. So you guys tell me. I think it's something in the eyes, Kittle. All right, let's get into it. We're going to do a team-by-team breakdown. We're going to talk about these matchups, and we're going to break down what do I think about Evans. I think he's a great buy low. What's up? You're right about Connor. NFL Network is getting the leftovers. Yep. Darn, you went Delaney. Darwin Thompson, play him? Question mark. As of right now, yes. All right, let's get to it. Bengals at the Bills, as you can see on screen. We'll see what happens with Mixon. Let's pull up the news, see what's going on with Mixon. Even if Mixon plays, I mean, you got to start him. If you drafted him in your top 18 overall and you're not playing him, that's crazy. You have to play him. Let's see. I don't see any new updates on Mixon, so he should be good to go. We'll see. I'm not expecting a big season out of Mixon myself, and I avoided him every single one of my leagues. And but you got to play him. Boyd is a great start no matter who they're playing, because if they're throwing from behind, they're going to give him a lot of targets. So Boyd I like. Ross I like. Hit the thumbs up on the way in if you can. Buffalo, man, I'm excited about this team. They feel a lot like the Rams before the Rams turned things around. If people forget how bad the Rams were, the Rams were like the Browns. The Rams were like the Dolphins are right now. The Rams sucked, and they turned things around, and it was a very, very sharp turnaround. That franchise is now a really respected franchise that I think the Buffalo Bills are about to become. And I know a lot of people might think that's crazy. I know a lot of people probably think that Josh Allen isn't as good as I think he is. I think Allen could develop into a really good passing quarterback. I don't just see him as a running quarterback. I hope he protects his body more, because that's one of the knocks I have on Lamar Jackson, is that he runs so much. But Jackson's developing as that passing quarterback now and earning a lot of my respect. Lamar Jackson, I don't think I have him still as high as a lot of people do. People have him in the top 2 or 3. I trade him all day long for a Deshaun Watson, even if I've got to give up a little more. I know not everybody would do that, and I respect that. And differing opinions rock. Just because I don't think Jackson will be 3rd or 2nd doesn't mean that either of us, don't have an argument to make for our side. So if you think Jackson is way better than I do, that's awesome, and I think you should trust your gut. But I still give him mad respect. He's in the 5 to, I'd say 4 to 6 range. Definitely has that kind of upside. But Watson, to me, is the number 2 QB, the only QB, Deshaun Watson, that can even sniff Pat Mahomes type numbers every other week or so. So Pat Mahomes is in a tier all by himself. I think Watson and Rodgers are in tier 2. And I don't think there's another quarterback in that tier with both Rodgers and Watson. Now, Rodgers has a little bit of a risk of falling out of that tier 2. Sure. I call him tier 1 elite and tier 2 and tier 1 normal, regular. I don't even know that I could say tier A and tier B. Mahomes is just on a whole nother level. You own Mahomes, you're dominating the QB position all year long. But Watson will dance with him at times and then fall back down to earth. But I think that him dancing with Mahomes every other week or a couple weeks in a row puts Watson in the conversation of he can win you your league if you go trade for him right now. So you won't be able to trade for Mahomes. No one that owns Mahomes is going to sell him at a reasonable price at all. But Watson is the final piece I think you can add to your team as you head into the weeks coming up, where 4, 5, 6, where people are kind of falling in line, and no one's going to trade those guys that are going to win them the week in and week out. Watson can carry you. Go trade for Watson before it's too late. DJ Moore or Evans, man. DJ Moore was what? 6th, 7th, 8th? What round did you pick him in, Parks? And what round did you take Evans in? Are you willing to take a lap for that question? Second, are you willing to just after 2 weeks say Mike Evans, capable of being potentially top 12 overall, is now worthy of being benched in favor of a guy you drafted in round 7, 8, whatever, 6? Mark with the super chat. If you super chat, you jump right to the front of the line and I feature your question, just so you know. No pressure is never expected. It's always appreciated. Thank you, Mark. Ingram, Goff for Watson, Andrews. Take Watson and Andrews in a heartbeat. First of all, a lot of people, especially in this chat room, are going to tell you that Andrews is better than Ingram. You could argue either one. No one's wrong or right. We got to find out, let it play out. It's too early to say Andrews for sure is better than Ingram. And you could argue that Ingram's better than Andrews really easily. But I personally would rather have Andrews moving forward and Watson crushes Goff. So Watson and Andrews crush that deal, Mark. Crush it. I hope you get that side of it. I'm trading for Evans and exchanging first rounders, says Parks. Take that, Mark. Take it. And take a lap, Mark, just because you'll be so excited you're going to want to run around and scream and raise your arms up and say, I got Deshaun Watson and Andrews on a steal. Like, you made out on both players. So I take a lap just out of excitement. And by the way, I have T-shirts. If you want to buy your Take a Lap merch, guess what? I'm going to put it right here. sleeperu.com/merch. Merch. Whoops. Right here. You want to get your merch? Right here. sleeperu.com/merch. And you can pick up your Take a Lap T-shirt. I should drag that photo onto screen. Let's drag it onto screen. Let's get it on screen here. Show you what I'm talking about. Okay. These shirts are pretty cool. By popular demand, you can get yourself this T-shirt by just going on over to this URL right here. If you want your Take a Lap T-shirt, you just go on over to sleeperu.com/merch and you get it. Jonathan, you're ignoring that it's a dynasty league, says Jonathan. And he's at a tier. Jonathan, there's no need to cry. Jonathan, where's your question? I don't even know what you asked. Jonathan, where's your question? Post your question again, Jonathan. Let's see if you are worthy of having that teardrop. Go to get your merch. sleeperu.com/merch. Get your Take a Lap t-shirt. Do not trade Goff and Ingram for Watson, my homie. Max Fire. Why not? Make your case, because Watson kills Goff, and Andrews is just as good as Ingram, if not better. Nick says, Conley sucked for your team tonight. Sorry to hear that. Where did you get the guy? It's he comes with the shirt. DeMarcus Robinson or Montgomery. I go Montgomery. You wouldn't be crazy to go either, but Montgomery's probably the craftier play, or I'd say the steadier play, and then so the craftier play, I guess, would be D Robinson. But DeMarcus Robinson is either going to lay a egg, 20 yards, 0 yards, or get you 100 and a touchdown. So high risk, higher reward. Montgomery's not getting the volume yet to, I think, get the high reward label with that start bench question. So he's more steady, believe it or not. Connor, full practice today. That's okay. Connor's getting banged up already. No, I can't. Not yet. I'm doing my push-up challenge, Nick. Then maybe. Start Baker or Andy. I go Baker, man. Sands says, hit thumbs up, guys. Traded TJ Hawkinson for Carlos Hyde. Good trade? I'd rather have Hawk, to be honest with you. But it depends on who your tight end was. But, I mean, I'm not a big Carlos Hyde believer, but I would pick him up in the right spot, but I like Hawk a lot more. But, I mean, not crazy. You didn't do like a horrible trade. It's just preference. Chris Thompson or Devonta Freeman. I think I roll with Freeman one more time, and then, damn, if he doesn't do it, I think I trade him for a ham sandwich just to get him off my team. Like, what the hell, Devonta Freeman? What the hell, Atlanta? What's Atlanta doing? Mix in Damian or Sony Michel full PPR. Well, Damian's probably not playing, so I think that'll make the decision for you, Joseph. Trade Nick Chubb plus D. Williams for Kamara. Absolutely, Juice. Like, no question about it. That's what I've been talking about all week. Go buy Kamara at second-round value. This is like equivalent to second-round value. I like Chubb. And Damian Williams shouldn't be forgotten yet. But goodness gracious, bro. You're talking about a guy that I still consider to be top 5. I'm not with everybody else that Kamara just drops off a big amount. I mean, Bridgewater and Hill, don't forget about Hill. Bridgewater and Hill together are going to efficiently, maybe not as well as Drew Brees, but efficiently move the ball down the field and keep defenses from stacking the box on Kamara. Nor does that always matter, because Kamara's a receiving back too. He does like a dual damage type of situation on defenses. So Devonta is benched until further notice. I don't blame you, review. I don't blame you if you cut him. Guy's a freaking disappointment this year. Found Melvin Gordon on waiver wire. Oh my God, buffoon. That's crazy. Go pick him up. I'm sure you got him already. Fantastic ad. Why is Melvin Gordon on waivers? I don't care if your league holds 5 running backs on your team. You grab Melvin Gordon and you deal with having 4 running backs. You make it work, because Melvin Gordon's like having a number 6 overall running back just sitting on your bench waiting. Like, you're not gonna wait for that. I don't know why you wouldn't wait for it. Even if you had 5 running back spots, I wait for Melvin Gordon to come back. You traded for and got Pat Mahomes and gave up Dak and James White. Dude, Sam, you crushed that person. Like, I hope you feel good about yourself, Sam, because you're going to make somebody cry. You're going to make your little cousin cry, and you steamrolled him on that trade. Freaking fantastic move. Depending on how you did that, like if you strong-armed your little cousin into making that deal, you should take a lap in shame. If you're playing a grown man and you took that from him, from his kung fu grip, then you should pat yourself on the back and force that guy to take a lap. Freaking awesome move. Russell, Smitty, you said yes to me to trade Lindsey for Melvin Gordon a week ago. Guy declined it. No one in the league wanted Lindsey. Saw Royce on waivers and picked him up for Lindsey. He had more points. Well, that's a sad story, Russell. I was thinking that was going to go in a different direction. Like, Smitty, you told me to trade Lindsey for Gordon, and I thought, like, music was going to queue up, and we were going to be like, the dude did it. The dude made it. And then it was like sad ending. Such a disappointment. But, you know, Royce might take over. Who knows? Sell AB for Juju, Nolan. 100,000%. Why? Because AB is already like dancing around Juju's ADP if you were drafting right now, and you get rid of all that risk. Do it. And then watch the AB show unfold. However, whatever direction it goes in, you'll be fine. Juju's fine. Rudolph's a good QB. I've told people for about a year to a year and a half that I like Rudolph if he ever got into a starting gig. And then, you know, when he landed with Pittsburgh, I was really excited because I think he's going to eventually, you know, be the future. And the future might be now. I don't know that Ben Roethlisberger will ever be the same or even come back. Why take a lap? For what question? Oh, look at Nick's comment. Why take a lap? I'm looking for Nick's comment. I got Gordon for Kamara. What? Nick. Kamara is a top 5 running back. Not that couldn't eventually somehow, like, per start work out, but I would never. That's my. Nick, you watch my stuff, man. My biggest go get right now is Alvin Kamara because people are treating him like not a top 5 running back. Nick, you've been drafting Gordon high all offseason. I'm trying to tame you on that. But that's definitely lap material, Nick. I'm sorry. I do appreciate you. You're my longtime guy here. Nick has been here from the beginning. Nick was probably subscriber 12. So I can only be so mad at Nick when he doesn't listen to me. But, oh, he's kidding. Nick, see, that's the other thing. Nick was kidding from day one, too. Nick, damn you, Nick. Okay, let's get back to the matchups here. Nolan asked one question here. Pictures of a comment when that guy was saying Singletary. Okay, yeah. You have pictures of the comment when that guy said he was saying Singletary in his sleep. Do I want them? Yes, send them to me, Nick. You know my email. Aaron Jones and Evan Ingram for Julio. Is that good? Oh, and just real quickly, what Nolan was saying. Let me put that on screen so I can answer it. Nolan was saying that somebody said that I talked so much about Devin Singletary and ingrained it in this guy's brain that he'd go home and he'd have dreams about Devin Singletary, and he'd literally say Singletary in his sleep, and his wife would be like in the morning, like, "What the hell? You're saying Singletary in your sleep? Who was that?" So I was just telling everybody on another live that that's probably one of the best compliments, one of the best testimonials I've ever had. Aaron Jones and Evan Ingram for Julio. Is that good? No. Julio by a lot. Joe Mixon for Kamara. Of course, Ivan. How dare you ask me that question? If Miss Smitty wasn't sleeping, I'd ring my bell in your ear. Kamara by a mile. Smitty, Carrion, or Montgomery as your running back too. This week you could go either way, man. We're talking about the similar value. Carrion's got risk. Montgomery's got risk. I mean, honestly, they could rotate, outscoring each other until one of them gets a full workload or becomes a little bit more utilized. David Montgomery would probably be my guy. Back to the matchups, because that's what this show is all about. Okay? Matchups. If you have start bench questions, toss them out. That's kind of more you guys are asking some of those, but let's do it per matchup if you guys don't mind, because I'd like to keep it on course here, because we do a Q&A every single live and there's no structure. So Bills, Allen's a great start this week. He's at home. John Brown is a great start, and Devin Singletary, will have to see how he's doing. I don't know that he's going to play in this one. If he does, he'd be a good start. Oh yeah, Nick fell asleep. Nick went live on Instagram, fell asleep and snored for a whole hour until Instagram kicked him off, because it gives you an hour time limit. And I was one of his only viewers during that time frame, because it was really late at night. And I watched for about 2 or 3 minutes, and I yelled a couple times, and then that was it. He couldn't hear me, but I was still yelling at him. I was like, Nick! And I was typing. You're live, bro. You're sleeping live. Riff. Thank you, Riff, for the super chat. Love your intro music. Where can I hear that song? You can hear that song every single day on the Fantasy Football Show, Riff. It's a custom song, and that's where you can find it. Unfortunately, it's not to be released. But I appreciate your super chat, Riff. You are awesome, and already becoming a big part of the community. Thank you very much. Big timer. I'm not surprised. It's a drama show nonstop with AB. Yeah. What are your thoughts on Bills defense? I like the Bills in this one. I do. Carry on at Philadelphia. So the Lions start Golladay. Expect a big game out of Kenny Golladay. Expect an okay game out of Stafford if you're playing a matchup game at QB and you got him. He's a decent play for sure. Carry on is a decent start just because I think they will give him a lot of volume. Wentz is a good play, but God, that guy, it's like, when will he get hurt? Honestly, when will Wentz get hurt? We should do a little vote here. Vote in the comments here. What week does Wentz go out for the year? Because I feel like it's inevitable. I feel like he's like Jordan Reed getting a concussion. Carson Wentz not finishing the year. At what week does he go out? It's like if, not, it's not, or it's when, not if, with Carson Wentz. But what week does Carson Wentz get taken out? Is it this week? I'm not ready to start Miles Sanders or believe in Miles Sanders yet. Jeffrey, Ertz is obviously a slam dunk play any week. You don't bench Ertz, but that's about it. Jets, Lev Bell. Honestly, that's probably all I'm starting. They don't have a QB. They don't have a solid QB situation going on there. They will feed Lev Bell enough. The Patriots have a pretty shockingly good defense at times, so I think Lev Bell maybe doesn't have, like 125, 130 yards, but he could get over 100 total yards and a potential shot at a touchdown because they're just going to feed him. Their volume will be there. Brady's a must play. Really, all those Patriot receivers, even Edelman, Josh Gordon, if you got him. If you got multiple, you'll probably have to pick and choose. I don't know that I'd start like Gordon and AB. So if you have AB and Gordon, you start AB until AB's out of the league. AB never gets put on the commissioner exempt list, then guess what? AB's a top 5 wide receiver moving forward. Edelman is okay while AB's in that lineup, but I think Edelman will have some decent games. But I know that the AB situation changed the game for Edelman and where you drafted him, but Edelman was a big risk to me in general. And thanks, Anthony. But those that invested high in Edelman are paying the price. But I think I still play him as a wide receiver 3 unless you're starting another Patriots wide receiver. White you play, Michelle you play. This is a pretty good game, I think, to throw out your New England Patriot players. So, Doobie, rolling with Smitty. I thumbed up the video. Thank you, sir. Should I start Ryan versus the Colts? We're getting there, okay? We're getting there, Poindexter. I think it's a decent play. It depends on your options. All right. Oakland Raiders at the Vikings. Now, do I have to tell you that freaking Dalvin Cook is going to explode? Posner, dropping the massive super chat, bro. Posner, I really appreciate it, man. Posner's a legend. Smitty, rate my lineup. And if you super chat, you interrupt whatever I'm doing and I read your question, just so you know. Let's read this question. From Posner. Smitty, rate my lineup. 0.5 PPR, QBs Mahomes, Devonta Adams, Calvin Ridley, that's fire so far. Absolutely fantastic. Kirk, I like Kirk as a wide receiver 3. Running backs are Cook. Carson's the only one I don't like. He would have been a great sell high last week. Now people are scared, the fumbles, but you still might be able to get rid of him. If you believe in him, trust your gut. But I'm staying away. Ertz, fantastic. You've got Madison backing up Cook. You have Singletary ready to go. You have Hawk on the bench. If I'm you, Posner, I love it. So your money. Adams, Mahomes, and Cook alone, your money. You don't have to do anything. And Ertz, you don't have to do a single thing. You could probably compete with anybody in your league, I assume, with this lineup. And I'm sure you're 2-0, right, Posner? Yeah, Posner. Is this like a 2-man league? The only thing I consider doing if I'm you is trading like Ertz and Carson for like a big Kamara. Ertz and Carson for Kamara. Then throw Hawk in your lineup. That's something I do because I'm crazy. If you like it, play it safe, then you can stand pat and just make sure you don't, drop any of the guys that are like big upside guys like Madison or Singletary or Hawk. Yeah, you're 2-0 clearly, and you're crushing your grandma and your baby brother and your stepfather in this league. It's still great for 10-man. I'd assume like 5-man league by the looks of it. But I would look into buying low on Kamara. I would look into buying low on Mike Thomas. I would do so using Ertz and Carson. I would do so using just Carson if you can. If you can go buy a Mike Evans or go buy a like you could trade Kirk and Carson for Mike Thomas maybe. Go after Thomas, go after Juju, go after Kamara. And, bro, you got it. You got it won there. But you still got it probably won. But fantastic job. Thank you, Posner, for the super chat. You the man. And Poindexter. No. Poindexter. This is not. Let me zoom in on this. Poindexter. No, DeMar. This is not cool. This is like going into like a Raiders stadium with a Cardinals jersey on or something. This is ridiculous. You're coming into a Dalvin Cook realm and talking about him being lesser than a guy that hasn't bounced back quite yet, playing in an offense that's very sketchy. Poindexter, you need to crawl a lap. Not take a lap. You need to crawl your lap. I think Poindexter is trying to push my buttons here. Still my bro fist. Trade Juju and Carson for Julio. No, I like Juju as much as I like Carson. I'm not one of these knee-jerk reacting people that are like, oh my God, I got to get rid of Juju. Mason's never going to throw to him. We don't know that. Mason could be a much better play than Roethlisberger. So I like him a lot. Haze yourself, says Michael to Poindexter. All right. Raiders, Vikings. Obviously, Cook is golden. Thielen's a great buy low. Yeah, DJ equals DJ, says Sam. That's more like it. Thielen's a great buy low. I think he could potentially have low end wide receiver 1 numbers. And I do love trading for Thielen but not drafting him. I love trading for Kelsey but not drafting him. These are two players that every time they get drafted, they get overdrafted. They're taken too high. They're taken like 10 picks too high. But yet the people that draft him don't like their teams, and then they sell them at reasonable value that I would have drafted. So that's why I don't draft Kelsey. I can go get him in a trade for a discount. It's like somebody buying a car, having regret driving it off the lot, losing $3,000 driving it off the lot, and then trying to back out of the deal and give it away for $3,000 less. That's what happens when you walk out of your draft and drive off the lot with a Kelsey or a Thielen. But guess who's there to buy that used vehicle? It would be me. And I'm going to put Thielen right into my lineup and buy him at a discount from you. Go get Kamara. Go get Kamara. DeMar is new. What is this? Sand says. DeMar is the new Nick. Nick's my boy. Tyrell or James White, full PPR. I go Tyrell. Tyrell's proven it at this point, man. Smitty, I left Lamar Jackson on the bench week 1. I started him last week, leaving R? What? What are you saying? Rephrase that. Sand, big timer, always welcome. Chill guys in our league that are active footballers. I missed something. Are you guys fighting? Are you guys fighting in the chat? Okay. Let's get back to business. So, Diggs is an okay start for sure. Wide receiver 3, though. Cousins, I'm not starting, but if you had him and you had injuries, I mean, he's not the worst play ever, but I don't really like Cousins a whole lot this year as anybody's starter. Madison, as a flex in a super deep league where you're hit with injuries, you could get a touchdown out of him. Tyrell Williams, I like against the Vikings because Tyrell Williams kind of feels like he's a wide receiver 3. Sand, I didn't know what was going on. I just saw that comment, so I was kind of kidding. I don't even know what you guys were talking about. Trade Calvin Ridley for Juju. I love Ridley, but yes, I'd go get Juju. But I love both. I'm trying to figure out a way to own both. You're asking me a tough question, but I like both. Watkins and Josh Jacobs for Dalvin Cook. Of course. Of course, Sam. Of course, man. Jonathan, this is like the 8th time he has ignored me. Well, instead of asking your question, you asked this, so now I'm reading this. I don't know what your question was. No one's ignoring anybody, Jonathan. Do I look like the kind of guy that just ignores somebody? There's like 100 questions going through here at once. It never fails once or twice in a live. Someone thinks I'm ignoring him and says something like that. Jonathan, I'm not. Post your question again, and I can read it. There we go again. Jonathan, DeMar, or Sand, could you all ask my question to Smitty? Well, you just lost your chance as I'm reading your question. You guys crack me up. Trade Damian Williams for Thielen? Absolutely. Smitty, I traded Eckler, Fitz, and Jacobs for Julio and Carson. Thoughts? Eckler, Fitz, and Jacobs for Julio and Carson. I don't even like Carson, but that's actually, yeah, I don't like Carson, but I'd probably take that and then trade Carson for more because Eckler's got an expiration date. So Julio's going to be money for this year. And then I try and turn that. Drake, a buy, super low. I'm not a fan of Drake, the singer or the player. Mark, he wants Fournette, Ingram, and Goff for Watson. And I have Andrews. Watson. Yeah, Ingram and Goff, dude. Fournette, too. That's a little harder, but I think I still do it, man. I think Watson's that good. Carson does fumble. I go Hardman over Aguilar. Woods or McLaurin. I go Woods this week, but I might be close next week to saying McLaurin moving forward. Drop Lat Murray for Thomas probably because Thompson. Darwin Thompson might start or at least have a big role. Nolan, Jonathan, come on, bro. Just keep asking. Don't ask over and over and over, guys. That gets annoying to people. But definitely, if I miss your question, you can ask it again. But just don't ask it like 8 times, like when in like 7 posts. Like there's your question over and over. It just clutters up the chat. Doobie says Darren Waller or Mark Andrews. I go, God, rest of season. I'd probably go Andrews for now, but Waller could be definitely that good. Smitty, fired up. He's got a lot of people here. It gets busy. Josh Jacobs or Mike Evans for a flex. I go Mike Evans right now, man. Trying to find the questions of everybody upset. Lamar and Dede for Chubb and a standard. Depends on your QB. Probably go with Chubb, but it depends on your QB. Smitty, you missed Super Chat. I did. Oh, no. I'm looking. I did. I got Posner's. Was there another Super Chat? I don't see it. Oh, Big Timer. Damn, I'm sorry, Big Timer. Big Timer knows I'm not ignoring him. I just didn't see that one. Sorry. AB News, harassing his accuser via text. Not good. Not a good look, Big Timer. Not a good look. Usually, when you're in a court case of some kind, you're not supposed to even sit by that person when you're on break, let alone send them harassing text messages. Thank you for the Super Chat, Big Timer. I'm going to start doing like a leaderboard or not necessarily a leader because I don't want people to feel like they can't do $1.99 versus $19.99, like Posner dropping bills in here like it's a strip club. But I want to appreciate and have you guys feel appreciated for the super chatting. So I'm going to do some kind of board somewhere, and just anybody that's done it regularly, even if it's just $1, doesn't have to be by price, but just regular super chatter is going to be on the board and give you recognition. Not that a lot of you even want it, but I'd feel better about it. Looks like I got another super chatter. Who is it? Green. Thank you, Green. I really appreciate it. Rate my lineup. QB, Lamar, Adams, Hill. That sucks about Hill. I'm sorry about that. But he will be back. I think he might be back a little bit earlier too. Diggs, McLaurin. I always say McLaurin. McLaurin. Monty, White, Kittle up the middle. So your running backs, you got to wait for Monty to kind of break out. White's pretty decent though. Kittle's great. Wait on Kittle. He's going to be fine. Adams and Hill were amazing to go with Lamar, who's breaking out. So really you got hit hard with that Hill. You're probably 1-1 or 0-2 because of that Hill injury, I imagine. I imagine you lost week 1 because of Hill, and you might have still struggled to win week 1. But Lamar could have carried you. But Kittle hasn't. Kittle had 2 touchdowns called back in week 1. So I like your team, and the only thing you could do is maybe go trade Lamar and try and get back in it. But let me know what you, Green, if you are 0-2 or 1-1. But you could consider trading Lamar, and you might even find someone that has like Aaron Rodgers that'll trade you him and something. Yeah, so you're 1-1. I figured you lost week 1 or at least week 2 because of that. That's a big hit, losing Tyreek Hill. Hopefully he gets back early. Go consider getting Melvin Gordon. It would be awesome if the guy that is Melvin Gordon has a QB that's like in your mind comparable to Lamar, and you got Melvin Gordon, Lamar. You'd have to win games though, because if you start off like 1-5 and then Lamar comes back or Gordon comes back, you could still lose. But if you could be like 2-2 and then he comes back, or 2-3, or even 3-2, whatever, you could still put up some huge numbers once you get Hill and Gordon in there, and you'd be like almost undefeated on the way out into the playoffs. I don't know. Jonathan, I see this question here. I hope this is the question you've been wanting me to answer. I'm 0-2. Oh, I'm sorry, wrong one. Moore 22 and late first for Evans 26 and early first for Dynasty. I assume those are dollar values out of what, Jonathan? 100? Whoops. Let me make that bigger. I might have missed an earlier message, but what are the dollar values here? Because this is a Dynasty, so I don't know what the... You talk about the... is that how old they are? I like Evans 100 miles, ahead of Moore. Sorry. Super chat by Danny. Carry on or Juju PPR? Go Juju. Don't give up on Juju after 2 weeks, man. He was everybody's like borderline first round wide receiver. No way. No way. No way. Really glad I found this channel. Thank you, Big Timer. And thank you for the super chat, Danny. Sam with the super chat too. Sam says nothing. Sam just wants to super chat. But Sam, if you have a question, please ask it. I appreciate all of you. Did I miss a super chat? I'm looking. Think I'm caught up. No problem, Jonathan. Is that... Hit me with the details, but type quick, because there's going to be 100 questions here, and then I'm going to lose it. Derek, take a lap. What did Derek say? Damn, Derek. Is Derek not listening again? Start Andy Dalton or Aaron Rodgers. Dude, Miss Smitty's asleep, but I don't care. That's ridiculous. Watch Andy Dalton crush Aaron Rodgers. But no, I don't care. Take a lap. Take a lap, Derek. It's tough love. If you're new to the channel, we'll hug it out after once you do your lap. But this is no. Miss Smitty's asleep, and this rings through the whole house. But I rung it anyways because I wanted kind of like when you knight somebody. I forget what movie it is, but when they make someone a knight and they put the sword here, and then they slap them across the face and they say, that's so you'll remember your vows. I feel like slapping you. I feel like going like this and just slapping you across the face, Derek, and say, Derek, that's so you'll remember it. You don't bench Aaron Rodgers for Big Red. You don't do it. But please take this as a tough love moment. Jonathan, just swapping first rounders. Oh, those are first round picks? Okay. I gotcha. 22-year-old for Evans 26. I don't care about 26 and 22 in a dynasty. It means nothing because, Jonathan, so many dynasty leagues crumble after 5 or 6 years, and you're like, God, I was worrying about 4 years between two players that the league didn't even... It crumbled before either one of them got old. A receiver can play well until like 31, 32, occasionally 33, occasionally 34. Kingdom of Heaven, what a good movie. I was going to say that. Kingdom of Heaven, Oliver. Freaking amazing movie. If you guys haven't seen Kingdom of Heaven, watch it. It's great. They don't go like this and then slap them, but they knight them and then slap them. And that's so you'll remember it. Yeah, Liam Neeson, Orlando Bloom. Great movie. Fantastic. I'm going to watch that. One thing I love about what I do, it's really the best job in the world. There's stress trying to because you got to make everything yourself. When some of you work for yourself, so I'm not telling you anything new, but you're responsible for bringing in the income of the bills, negotiating, sponsorships and all. It's a non-stop process, but it's fun and I love it and I live for it. I'm an entrepreneur at heart, but what I love, probably if you ask me what's the most fun thing about your job, I would say eating when I want and like working out when I want or something. Like midday, just go for a run, whatever. Although my knees have been hurting ever since I've been talking bad about Todd Gurley. Damn Todd Gurley. But probably the other fun thing about what I do is that I love to watch movies. So I have this TV right here. And I love to watch movies while I work, while I crank out stats, while I work on stuff. And I'm going to put on Kingdom of Heaven as one of my next movies. And I stroll through like The Sopranos. I watched The Sopranos within like a week and a half, just going through episode after episode. Then I went through Breaking Bad. And then, so that's kind of what I do during my day when I'm working on stuff. Your statement about the wide receiver longevity curve makes one appreciate Larry Fitzgerald durability. Yes. So my whole point with this is you don't worry about 26 years old. You could worry about 30, 29, like Julio. What's Julio, 31? Anybody know Julio's age offhand? I think it's 31, something like that. Time to start worrying about it. He's also very injury prone. So Julio Jones is somebody at 31. You start thinking maybe I do trade him. Maybe I get out while I'm ahead. But 26 years old, you've got another 5 years before you have to worry. Sam sent a super chat. Sam, you did. It just didn't come through. Oh, no. This is the one you sent earlier. I sent super chat. Can you please rate my team? Sam, the one you sent was blank, so I didn't see this yet. But now I will. I'm glad you posted it again. And Sam, I appreciate you and your super chatting abilities. You're my hero at the moment. I sent a super chat. Can you please rate my team? QB, Dak, and Brady. Are you in a 2 QB league? If not, then you have a dilemma. But right now, you kind of got to roll with Dak, right? McCaffrey, Devonta Freeman has been pooping the bed. Damian's injured and pooping in his bed. James White is probably, your lock second running back. So he's doing good enough that I'd feel okay with that. Edelman, that was an avoid for me. Cook was an avoid for me. AJ Green's hurt. Watkins has been, pretty good through 2 weeks, and I think I continue to roll him out there. Tyrell Williams was a great add. I'm sure you added him after week 1. So those wide receivers are pretty effective. On Waller, great job on Waller. You probably picked him up in week 1 too, or you drafted him, and you probably been playing Walker though, right? Who's been doing well too. But I think Waller is probably the guy moving forward. And I think you wait on Edelman potentially looking at a better situation if something happens to AB. Damian's hurt. That sucks. But, McCaffrey and Dak, you're looking good. You need to trade one of your QBs if it's a 1 QB league. AB's 31. Everyone's saying 30. So is that Julio's 30 or 31? I think you're saying he's 30. You need to trade Cooper Kupp on the high if he does have a big week because he's an injury away from not helping you at all. McCaffrey's a decent sell low if you can get, because you're not going to, this is just tough love, Sam, to try and help you because you're sending me a super chat asking for my opinion and you're asking me to rate it. So I'm just trying to be completely honest. It's going to be tough for you to win given that Damian got hurt. I just don't see you winning the league. Unless you make a move. But if you can in crafty fashion trade McCaffrey for a Kamara, so McCaffrey and Kupp for Kamara, like I'm just throwing out. I know the person probably doesn't have both these players, but you can get a sense of what I'm talking about. McCaffrey for Kamara and Mike Evans, and you give up Cooper Kupp, so you go from McCaffrey and Kupp to Evans and Kamara. That's the kind of move that can get you back in it to win. And if AJ Green comes back and is playing well, Tyrell keeps it up, and Dak continues to do well. Maybe you trade Brady and Edelman for a slightly better wide receiver. Maybe you go get, if you could get Juju somehow, giving up a lot of depth, including let's say the Juju owner had Roethlisberger, who might have stacked that. Give up Brady or Dak. I'd give up either. I wouldn't be picky on that. I'd take what I could get. Get a Juju for Dak. You could probably do that. Dak's playing out of his mind. I trade Dak on the high and I start Brady. Trade Dak, get a Juju or a Mike Thomas or a Mike Evans. Try and use Dak if you have to get Kamara. But if you can get Kamara and you can get like a Juju or an Evans, dude, you're back in it and you're dominating. This is part of the fun, Sam. When you take a team, you turn it into a team that looks almost nothing like it, and it's a dominating team. You're damn proud of that league, and it makes it more fun to win. Hope that helped you, Sam, and I appreciate your super chat, my friend. Kamara and Ridley, calling it now. Love Kamara and Ridley. Should I start John Brown? You guys are making it hard for me to go through these matchups because you have a lot of good questions. You're super chatting like bosses, and I don't care. I'm having fun. I'm not too picky. about what we talk about and what we do. I just got to make sure I'm not missing a super chat. Just don't get mad at me if I don't see your... Like, look at... I have, I don't know, 50 questions that happened since I started answering that one question. So the super chatting is a way to get it out there for sure. I'm not saying you have to do that or I expect it. It's always appreciated. But look at this. So Jake has a super chat. Jake gets up. Madison just put on waivers. Jake, go get him. I don't even have to read the rest of the question. Go get him. Who do I drop? You're not dropping Brady. You're not dropping Baker. You're not dropping Cook. You're not dropping Montgomery. You're not dropping Sanders, Michelle, Singletary, Cook, Hopkins, Hollywood, Thielen, Ridley. Damn it, Jake. That's why he's on waivers. You're in a very small league. Everybody's got amazing players, and you can't make a drop. I'd say that Baker's worth dropping if the QB pool is very, very rich, and it seems like it could be. But that could be the one position where people aren't cutting anybody. I'd say your second worst player would be... I don't want to use the word worst because they're all good, but I'd say Kirk. So if you want to keep the QB and the QBs won't be there for you later on, then you drop Kirk and you pick up Madison. You just kind of got to do it because you have Cook for one. You should have already owned Madison, but I understand why you didn't. But you got to go get Madison, I think, and drop Kirk. I like Kirk a lot. He's a good receiver, but you're in a league where there are players like Kirk on waivers, right? So don't worry about dropping Kirk because you can pick up another Kirk. Drew with the super chat. Thank you, sir. And your follow-up question, I see right below it, which I'm going to answer because I think you meant to put it in there. Mike Williams, Josh Gordon, John Ross, non-PPR. Mike Williams isn't playing out of his mind on any level. Josh Gordon is getting a lot of his shares now hogged up, and Ross is playing out of his mind. I ride the momentum train even in a non-PPR. It doesn't really matter. These are all receivers. I ride the momentum train and put Ross in there. And thank you, Drew, for the super chat, my friend. Temp. Lamar Jackson for Sanders. No. Lamar's playing. You can, even if you didn't like Lamar's playing out of his mind. You can get so much more in a trade than Sanders, who hasn't even earned that trade value yet. If he had climbed into that value, then yeah, maybe you go make that trade, but he's not there yet. You're like trading Lamar, who's at stock all-time high, and you're trading for a guy you hope that gets there, but his stock's down here, and you're like, let's do it. Let's swap. I'll give you my $500 worth of this stock for a stock that I think could be $500, but right now it's $20. Let's swap. That's what that is like to me. Boyd, Ridley, Robinson, Watkins, who should you start? Top three. Boyd is a lock. Ridley is a lock. And man, Robinson or Watkins. What do you guys think below? Who would you start if you had to start one wide receiver? Either Watkins or DeMarcus Robinson in Kansas City. Pick one. I want to know what you guys think, and we're going to give some good advice here. My team, Arizona Cardinals. Glenn, well, I'm in Phoenix, bro. Go Cards. Trade Galladay for Thielen. That's like an even. I don't even know I can answer that one. Trade Brady and Samuels for Emmanuel Sanders and Hollywood Brown. It's even, Nolan. Temp. Do you think Darwin could be a sneaky start this week? We got to find out what's going to happen, but yeah, he could be. Tyreek shed his cast, or his sling or whatever, but his collarbone, where he damaged it, is right where it connects to the sternum area. That's a tough one. Go get Lamar's goal. Yeah, if you were going to get Lamar for Sanders, then you do that. Even if you already have a QB, you do that and then trade Lamar or trade your current QB and keep Lamar. But Lamar is so much more valuable than Sanders right now. Watkins, Jimmy Smith, most likely out. Watkins. So the answer, you're getting to that Watkins D-Rob question so far is Watkins. I kind of tend to agree, but I'm starting in a league. I admittedly have no wide receivers in this league, but I'm starting both of them in one league because I'm hurting at wide receiver, but my running backs are stacked. And you wouldn't drop Kirk. I don't blame you, but in that league, there's Kirks available, I drop Baker, I guess, if there's good QBs always available, but I definitely think Madison's worth more to him. Who to stash? Samuels, Brown, Thompson, or Hendy? Hendy eventually, but I get it. You can't. If all these guys are available, it means you have a small roster, so you can't house a Hendy until he becomes more relevant. But I think Thompson's the guy now because he could potentially be starting, but that changes. Then I think, Malcolm Brown or Samuels could be the better long-term hold, a guy you're going to have to wait on. All right, let's get back to the matchups. If I missed a super chat, let me know. Let me scroll down. Thoughts on Adam Thielen? I already talked about Adam Thielen. Kevin, he might have just joined us, but I think he's one of the better low-end wide receiver ones to trade for because you didn't have to pay that high price that everybody was having to pay on draft day, but you're able to get him now for a lot less value, and he still has the upside. So I love trading for him right now. Super chat from Mark. Mark, thank you, sir. Fournette, Sony for the season. They're both avoids for me, Mark. I got to be honest with you. Probably Sony, and I even worry about his knees, but I just don't trust Fournette. Nor do I like the offense all that much. What did Fournette do today? Let's pull it up. I don't know what his final line was. I stopped watching the game with like 3 minutes left because it was the worst game I've seen in a long time. But I don't know if he had like a big run at the end or what happened. So Fournette. Henry had 44 yards and a touchdown. Fournette had 15 carries for 66 yards and 6 receptions. Wow, that's a lot for Fournette for 26. I probably lean Sony, man, but he could get hurt at any moment. But I probably lean Sony. But thank you for the question, guys. If you want to post what you think about this question, Fournette or Sony, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Thank you, Mark. No problem, Juice. I don't know what I did because I don't remember answering your question, but I might have read it. I knew I read your one earlier. But Fournette had one good run. The rest, he sucked. I'm starting Sony this week over Hyde and Freeman. I would too. He had -9 yards until the 60-yard run. Yeah. I mean, his yards are his yards. I tend to not worry too much about that myself. I'll be truthful with you guys. The guy is 70 yards, and it all came on 2 carries. Like, his yards are his yards, and you could play that game all day long. That if he would have broke that free, or if his lineman wouldn't have missed that block. Fournette has higher upside, even though I don't like either. Debo. Who Debo? Debo's amazing. Hyde over Freeman, probably Hyde. Guys, also, just so you know, if you play DFS, I'm doing a thing right now where if you guys go to this link right here, mkf.win/Smitty, or you enter Smitty when it's time to check out or deposit, and you send me a screenshot at sleeperu.com, I will give you an 8-minute phone call if you send me a screenshot of your deposit at this link. You have to do it to this link. mkf.win/Smitty, deposit, play DFS. It's like over under. It's awesome. Like over under on like yards or how many points a team will score. It's freaking awesome. It's one of the best ways to play DFS right now. If you go to mkf.win/Smitty and deposit, and you're a new account, and you send me a screenshot, I will give you an 8-minute phone call and call you and talk to you about whatever you want. Relationships, Sopranos, or football. You want to call and scream at me? You can scream at me for 8 minutes long. Call me any name you want, over and over. mkf.win/Smitty. And I'm going to keep this up at the top of the screen so that you guys know how to find it. Right there. Super chat from Nestor. Nestor, you sneaky devil, sneaking that in on me. Do I trade Chark, Edelman, and Brady for McCaffrey and Madison? And I'm giving up too much. You super chatted, so I can't yell at you, Nestor. But if you're trading away Chark, Edelman, and Brady for McCaffrey alone, not to mention you're throwing in Madison, if you're getting McCaffrey and Madison, you better watch your back because your entire league is going to come after you. That's fantastic, bro. If you're trading away McCaffrey, no. But if you're getting McCaffrey and Madison for that, that's insane. I don't know that you would even get. This might be something you're thinking about offering, and it's going to get rejected. But if it's actually on the table, go leave the show right now, accept it, and come back, and then we'll celebrate together, and we'll all run a lap holding hands together for you on your behalf. But that would be absolutely insane to get that. Thank you for the super chat, and good luck getting that. You would win your league off that trade, bro. You got offered, Danny says you got offered CMC and Cup for Barkley and Evans. Barkley and Evans by a lot. I'm not a big Cooper Kupp fan. Sand. Oh, he's responding. Super chat. Yeah, I got that one, I think. Was there another one? Nope. Mark had Fournette, Sony. I think I'm caught up. All right, back to the matchups. Where were we? God, we haven't even got far at all. Lamar, Mahomes, what a duking it out. What an amazing game. I can't wait for that game. That's the game of the week right now. Lamar Jackson versus Pat Mahomes. Darwin Thompson might be getting extended run. Kelsey, Sammy Watkins, D. Robinson, Mecole Hardman, Hollywood Brown, Mark Ingram's going to... This is a game of fantasy goodness. I hope it doesn't turn into like a no one scores in the first half or some dumb outcome that you never expect that always ends up happening in these kind of situations. So I hope to God it's not that way. Did I miss a chat? No, I didn't. Okay. McLaurin, Landry, or John Ross? I go McLaurin right now. Lewis, Mike Williams, or D. Robinson? I go D. Robinson. Mike Williams needs to prove something before I start putting him in there. Glad to see you here, Lewis. Sorry if I missed it. I think I saw your name a couple times and I didn't get to read the question. It went by too quick. Nathan, Lamb. Standard scoring, high upside. You need to. Woods, Cup, Mixon, John Brown. You can't bench Mixon if he's a go. If you spent the value, the cost of a top 15, top 18 pick on him, you got to use him. And I probably go with John Brown or Woods. I don't go with Cup. Anything can happen. I mean, Woods, Cup, and Brown, you could get that. If you had to pick one of those wide receivers with Mixon each week, you could get that wrong 40% of the time, 50% of the time, maybe even higher. So, honestly, John Brown's probably your safer bet with Mixon. Scary Terry. 70-30, I don't think Darryl sees the field, says Sand. Darryl 1L Williams could end up leading all the carries or not playing. No one really knows. Hollywood and Ingram for Mike Evans and Hooper. I take Mike Evans myself. Debo or D. Robinson. That's a good one. High risk is D. Robinson, but maybe a touch more upside. Debo seems steady and very, very good. Do you play Connor or Jacobs this week? I played Jacobs this week until Connor's healthier. Monty, Carry On, or D. Rob at flex. I go... God, you're going to get that wrong like half the time too. I don't know. What do you guys think on that one? I'd probably lean Monty, but it's got risk, man. Fly's got to take a lap. What did Fly say? I'm looking for Flies. Lamar Jackson going to outscore your Mahomes, Smitty, says Fly. I'm not going to make him take a lap on that one because anything can happen. But let's see. I would take that challenge. The lap challenge. Okay, Fly? Loser takes a lap. Watkins says help. I don't see a question, Watkins. Connor says he'll play. Well, Connor said he'll play when he got hurt last year. He got hurt and then missed several games. Going into that first missed game, he's like, I'm playing. And he didn't play. So don't trust Connor. Would you trade Aaron Jones for Mike Evans and Lindsey? 14 team. Starting running backs are Zeke and Thomas. Would I trade Mike Evans and Lindsey? Aaron Jones for... Yeah, dude, go get Mike Evans for Aaron Jones. I would. Trade Eckler and Scary Terry to get Monty. That's a tough one, man. Eckler has an expiration date potentially, but he's playing so good right now. I'd probably go get Monty, but there's a risk in that. Is Evans going to start playing better? I believe so, Max. I'd bet on it. I'd trade for him. Monty over Carson. I probably would. The fumbles worry me. Trust Connor? No. Mahomes is about to go off in the home opener. Ravens defense is a little overrated in my opinion, and they're most likely to be without their top corner. Fournette top 15 running back. I don't think so, but anything can happen. I start Mostert over Freeman right now, but that could change by halftime. Isn't saying to play someone because you paid so much for him just sunk cost. I don't know what you're talking about. You're probably answering someone else's question, which is awesome. I'm glad you guys are comfortable enough asking each other questions in our community. Our community is freaking awesome. We got 172 people in the room, but only 68 thumbs up. What the hell? Can I get a little bit more thumb up action in the chat room? Whether you stick your middle finger up or you hit the thumbs up, I don't care. Just do something. Because 68 is kind of weak, given we have freaking 170 people in here watching it. And 50 or 60% a lot of the time of viewers aren't subscribed yet. So my question to you is, if you're in here watching and you're having a little bit of fun, I'd go up to that little smash that little subscribe button and hit that little bell, because then you'll get notified when we go live, and we can do this every night or every other night. I do go live. Ask everybody in here. I go live like pretty much every other day at a minimum. Let's get back to the matchups. We got to roll through these matchups quick. Mac is a great play this week. Hilton, obviously you don't sit Hilton. Brissett, some people call him Brisket. Brisket, I think, will feed Hilton a ton. I don't really like Freeman right now until further notice. Julio and Ridley obviously fire. And Matt Ryan, if you drafted him to start him, you got to play him. So there's not a lot of benches in there, except for maybe Freeman, depending on your options. Super chat from Mitch. Attaboy. Derek just subscribed. Thank you. Thank you, Derek. Super chat from Hayes. Have Lamar and Watson. Trade one. What should I get in return? Have Zeke, Mixon, Murray, Penny, Brown. Receivers are Allen, Godwin, Robinson, Hardman. Okay, so Hayes, you might have joined us a little late because we talked about this. Definitely trade whatever QB of the two will get you more value. I imagine it would be Lamar. I like Watkins better too. So if I've actually talked about how I would use Lamar in something small to go get Watson. Did I say Watkins? To go get Deshaun Watson, because I like him better moving forward. I wouldn't call you crazy if you like Lamar more moving forward. It's arguable. So trade whatever one you think will get you more. But you should be able to easily, from a hurting team, and there are a lot of hurt QBs, and Roethlisberger went down, Breeze went down, Luck retired after a lot of drafts, you're probably looking at a few teams more than most years where you could trade a Lamar to them for a Mike Evans, or a Lamar for Juju would be ideal. Kamara, you could do an upgrade trade. Godwin and Lamar for Kamara, I'd do that. Maybe everybody wouldn't. I would. But I'd definitely trade one of those QBs. Most likely I would want it to be Lamar for Mike Thomas, Juju, or Mike Evans, man. I roll the dice on that. I get another big-name player into your lineup because you're just wasting that talent away on your bench. Smash that like button. Show Smitty some love, says Big Timer. Big Timer says smash it. 94 likes already. Good job, guys. Thank you for hitting that button. Buffoon. That I'm watching live. What are we watching live? I miss a lot. When you guys, as we get bigger, I miss so much more in the chat. And it's not that I'm ignoring anybody. People on YouTube not understand that the slight delay. There's like a 20-second delay. Says review. Yes, there is. What the heck? Trade Hilton for Juju? Yeah, I take Juju. Yeah, there's a little bit of a delay. Know that. It's like on a live, there's like a 10-second delay. Maybe 15. The longer you're on, the longer it can get, depending on how you're streaming and all that. But Daniel Jones or Jameis Winston, I go Winston for now, but don't be surprised if next week I say different. Did I miss a super chat? Mitch, I hope I answer your question. Murray or Garoppolo? Lewis, I'd say Garoppolo for now. Ball's Life said, came in late. Did you talk about Aaron Jones? You talk about they're going to split between Williams and Jones. No, we haven't talked about it yet, but that's always kind of been there. And that's why I don't love Aaron Jones right now. I think he still has top 10 running back appeal. But if you can't sell him high, you got to hang on to him. Kat says, Smitty, thanks for all your hard work. Thank you, Kat. And we're growing, and you're a part of it. We're 3,000 subscribers now. It took us about 7 months, when you really look at how long I've been cranking out videos. So 7 months, we've gone to 3,000 subscribers. My goal is 10,000 by December. And then from there, I bet you anything we double or triple going into this time next year if we can get to 10,000. The key is getting to that 10,000 before we hit January 1. If we get to 10,000 subscribers before we hit January 1, we're going to explode heading into the offseason. But we have to get there. You need to spread the word and help me, because I know a lot of you guys say, oh, I don't want to tell people about this and that. It's so much more fun having your buddies in the community talking on the lives. There's so much more value in that than keeping something a secret. And if we blow up anyways, they're going to find out about the show eventually. So why hold it back from getting better? And I promise you, the bigger we are, the more I deliver. So if you're thinking that, oh, I'll let somebody else do it, or I don't want MT, I told all my leagues about you. Thank you. That's the attitude I'm looking for, because, guys, we grow. I produce more. I want, my goal, and I've said this over and over, is to have a 4-hour show every day for you straight. That's my goal. I want to be like ESPN has, or Mike and Mike on the radio. I want to have a 4-hour YouTube show or something like that for you guys. But I need to get to those numbers in order to do that. So thank you, Leonard. I do believe the channel will grow and get bigger and bigger and bigger. But my goal is to get it to blow up this coming off season, not wait 2 or 3 years. But we have to get to 10,000 subscribers. We got to get through these matchups. Aaron Rodgers at home against the Broncos. I think he's going to have a big game. Adams is a big game. I think Aaron Jones does well. I think MVS or Allison serviceable for sure as a wide receiver 3. I don't like the Denver running backs right now. Green Bay's a very crafty defense. I don't know that I like any of those players. I don't even know if I start Cortland Sutton or Emmanuel Sanders. I guess you play if you have him as your wide receiver 3. Barry with the super chat. Thank you, Barry. I appreciate it. I appreciate all of you who drop even $1, $5 here. It all adds up, man. It helps me a ton. For some reason, I can't send my message, so I'm going to put it in chat. Okay, Barry, let me look for it. I'm looking, Barry. I'm looking for it, Barry. I'm looking, Barry. Brandon says this channel is going to blow up at some point. Thank you, Brandon. Brandon says it's going to blow up like this. I agree. I think we've grown in general, guys, and I look at a lot of fantasy, stuff. In general, I feel like we've grown faster than anybody. Any of these channels that are blowing up that have gone from like 20 to 60,000 followers in like a year or two, I feel like we're growing faster than they ever did at their start. So I'm really, really excited. Barry's question. Here we go. Barry. Suggestions. Mahomes, running back. You have Damian Williams, who's hurt. That hurts you. Montgomery, who's not getting the run yet that we hope he's going to eventually get. Mike Thomas, keep him. Juju, keep him. Kittle, keep him. Watkins is fantastic as a flex. Ridley needs to get in your lineup somehow. I start Ridley over Watkins for now, but this week you might want to start. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you on Watkins, Ridley this week, because I know if I tell you to sit Watkins for Ridley, Watkins is going to have 200 yards. But you need to make a trade. I would trade Ridley or Watkins with Damian if you could, and I don't know if anybody's going to do that. He's hurt. You might have to wait till he gets better. You could consider trading Monty and Ridley, or Monty and Watkins, or something along those lines. You got to do something, though, because you have a winning formula with Mahomes and Mike Thomas and Juju. I just want to see you with either Ridley and Watkins together, or Monty and Ridley, or Monty and Watkins. Go get yourself a very undervalued player. Maybe with Sammy Watkins and Ridley, you could go get trying to think of a player that would fit that mold perfectly. You guys got any ideas for Barry? Let's come up with something for Barry. What can Barry do with Williams, Monty, Ridley, and Watkins without touching Thomas, without touching Mahomes, without touching Juju and Kittle? You have it there. You get one upgrade with Williams being slightly upgraded, or Monty being slightly upgraded, like Monty and Watkins for Kamara, Monty and Ridley for Kamara. You do that and you're money, bro. They got another super chat in here. Guys, throw a comment down for Barry, what you think Barry should do. Let's give Barry some help. Pick 3, says Blunts. Thank you for the super chat, Blunts. That's very, very awesome of you. Pick 3, Hilton, Edelman, Hollywood Brown, Mike Williams, Tyrell Williams. Hilton, lock him in. Hollywood Brown, lock him in. Tyrell Williams and Edelman is the tough call, but I think I'd go with Tyrell because he's been playing really well. He's the team's number 1 option, whereas Edelman's 2 or 3, maybe 4 sometimes, depending on how they work the ball around to the running backs. But thank you, sir, for the question, and I would play Hilton, Brown, and Williams, but that's me. Ball is Life Sleeper just posted that Antonio Brown may be trying to imitate some woman through a group text by sending a picture of her daughter. I don't know what the hell this guy is going to do next. Everybody hanging on to him at top 5 wide receiver value and not taking advantage of trading him and getting rid of this situation. Go get Juju. Go get Mike Thomas. Go get Mike Evans for Antonio Brown. Why on earth would you not laterally step into a safer player when you can avoid all of the risk and really step right into a player that could be equal right away, even if AB's playing. AB could be a top 5 wide receiver, but so can Juju. People are counting Juju out as a top 5 to 7 wide receiver after 2 games, and he's getting a good quarterback that's going to step into that lineup and feed him the ball properly, something Roethlisberger wasn't able to do anymore. Rudolph is a very good underrated QB. Watch the offense get firing on all cylinders under the command of Rudolph. Go get Mike Thomas. Go get Evans, who in 2 weeks you're going to give up on him. Get rid of AB if you can. Go get Kamara. Get rid of AB and another player to get Kamara. Now is the time. This is the best time of year. Everybody's all mad because these players are struggling. All I see is opportunity in the leagues where I don't own these players that are struggling. Yeah, I have Kamara in a league, and it sucks that he's been struggling. But I'm like ear-to-ear grin in the league where I don't have him, and I'm about to acquire him. I'm super pumped that I'm getting Juju and Mike Thomas at a discount, and I'm not worried about the 2 or 3 leagues where I have these guys in them. Breaking AB news, he was pulling out a frozen pizza from his oven and he burned his hands, says Buffoon. That's pretty funny. Doobie, I don't like Freeman and I'm a Falcons fan. Review with a $10 super chat. Review that, bro. I appreciate you. I need to do a little more contributing around here for all you do. Here's a buck or two. Thank you, Smitty. Lamar Jackson MVP. Thank you, Review. And again, I can't tell you guys how much I appreciate it. It helps the channel a lot. It helps me a lot. It helps me grow. Helps me reinvest in things. It helps me do all kinds of stuff. So, boom, boom, boom. If Miss Smitty wasn't sleeping, I'd ring that bell 10 times for you. Maybe I can do little rings. Little rings, ready? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Review that. Smitty, check the news, man. This is big. Okay. Let's plug in. Let's plug in. 1, 2, 3. This news better be there. This news better be there. I gotta check that setting that doesn't open iTunes every time you plug your phone in. I always just ignore that and like I'll do it later and every damn time. All right. Let's get on it. I'm checking the news. I don't see it. Sorry about that. I need the WD-40 that. I don't think we're getting through all the matchups. I'm going to put this down here for now. Are you on here taking a shot at Smitty, says Manning. Who's taking a shot? Who's taking a shot at me? It helps pay for Dodgers food. Yes, it does. Burn that brown sticker. We got to think of something fun to do to this. I put it right here for now. Where's this AB news? Where am I looking? Big timer, where's it at? Take a lap, Andy. What did Andy say? Who is Monty? Take a lap, Andy. AB's getting suspended, says TBE. It's Gordon time. If that's true, people waited. They should have traded him like we've been talking about forever. We don't know 100% as the mainstream. Yeah, I don't know. Let's find this news. Somebody post a link in here or tell me where to go. I want to know what you're talking about because I don't see. The last news on Roto World is that, and not saying they're the most up-to-date as of right now. It's on Pro Football Talk. Okay. Give me 1 second. Let me find it, and then I'll plug back in. Pro Football Talk. Okay. So, Antonio Brown harasses latest accuser via text message. Antonio Brown may have crossed the line as far as the NFL and the Patriots are concerned. This is from Pro Football Talk, which is owned by, NBC? So the report is that Brown has sent harassing text messages to unnamed accuser who shared allegations with Klemenko regarding Brown's behavior after Brown hired her to paint a mural at his house. Let's not put all that on YouTube, but it's not looking good. But we'll see. Now is the time to trade. Now is the time to trade. You should have got rid of Brown already. Poor Smitty. He's tired. I am tired. AB's cooked. How can you not see? LOL. Says Manning. How? Did I not see the sleeper update? What do you mean, Manning? I don't have the Sleeper app open. My site's different than Sleeper. Some people think that that's the same site, but it's not. But let's go to... we'll go to the Sleeper app and see. We can look at my team, too. New England Patriots wide receiver Antonio Brown's first game with the New England. No, it didn't say it on Sleeper. Where? Where is it? I keep being told. Should you trade Marlon Mack? Depends on for who. I am tired. I don't know why I'm tired, but I'm tired. Got 192 people in the room. Please hit that thumbs up if you can. Now is the time to get Josh Gordon. I agree. I've been talking about that for a little bit, that Gordon's a good buy low. I did that on my morning live. Talked about that. We're just waiting for Edelman and Gordon to get their value back. So that's why you got to sit on them. You can't trade them low or anything like that. Wish I could send you a snapshot of the news. Well, I mean, I got it on. I pulled it up on. This team right here. Where's that one team? I like this team right here. This is one of my teams that I hope blows up moving forward. But I have Singletary, Odell, Elliot, Aaron Rodgers. Where's my other one? What's up, Steve? Yeah, we'll see what happens with the AB news. Let me look for some other AB news on it. AB, Antonio. So Antonio Brown loses his deal with Nike. Antonio Brown 13 hours ago, loses his deal with Nike as he faces another sexual misconduct allegation. That's big for him to lose his Nike deal. That won't bode well for him with the NFL. Brown's lawyer requested AB to stop harassing. Hey, Smitty, which tight end do I roll with? I have OJ Howard and Olsen. I go with Olsen right now. Take it easy, Sand. That was a sleeper app. Antonio Brown. Yeah, the Pro Football Talk one is the one that I'm seeing the most on. It says on Thursday night, woman's lawyer sent a letter to the NFL explaining that Brown is intimidating and threatening our client in violation of the NFL personal conduct policy. Our client ... is understandably frightened by these text messages, which are clearly intended to threaten and intimidate her, attorney Lisa Banks wrote. While she certainly qualifies as a starving artist, she has never approached Mr. Brown, nor will she, about seeking money to compensate her for any misconduct. Amazingly, Brown's lawyer was included in the group text. Oopsie. Antonio Brown might have made an oopsie. He might make our Nailed It and Oopsies episode update of week 4. Antonio Brown sending little messagey poos to his accuser is a little bit of an oopsie poo, I would say. What do you guys think? I don't think you do that. I think that's probably an oopsie. But that's just me. Personal conduct policy expressly prohibits talking, stalking, harassment, or similar forms of intimidation. The fact that the behavior has been directed at a woman who has made allegations regarding misconduct makes the situation even worse for Brown. Employers routinely take swift and decisive actions against employees who have been accused of misconduct and who harass or intimidate those who have made accusations or allegations. The Patriots, who likely any NFL team wouldn't have signed Brown if they had known about the sexual assault lawsuit, likewise have not been inclined to terminate the relationship solely based on the uncorroborated allegations in civil action. If Brown sent these messages to a woman who chimed in with her own allegations of misconduct by Brown, that gives the Patriots a much more tangible basis for severing ties with Brown. Regardless of what the Patriots do, the league can take action against Brown. The aggressive and angry response directed to the accuser could be enough, for example, to cause the commissioner to believe that Brown may have violated the personal conduct policy to Brittany Taylor, justifying immediate placement of Brown on the commissioner exempt list. However it plays out, Brown apparently has committed yet another serious error in judgment, one that has placed his current employment in real jeopardy. As we know, Brown does not use his head very well, and I already got a thumbs down from a Brown owner right now. So, sorry that you still own Brown, and that makes you mad that I read this. I know you want to defend it. I know you want to say, no, this lady's lying. I own Brown. Stop talking bad about him. That's probably where the thumbs down came in, because there was no thumbs down before I started reading that. So a Brown owner got pretty pissed off and thumbed down the video. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I give Brown a thumbs down. Brown is a bad boy. Brown created and caused another oopsie. And Brown's going to get an oopsie spotlight on my next week 4 oopsie and nailed it video. Smitty, do you think I should go ahead and pick up Chris Herndon and drop Eifert? I don't like either option too much. You have Ingram, that's good, because I don't like any of those guys as your starter. But I don't know. Herndon and Eifert are like the same. DeMar. Arians went out and stated that he wants OJ to get more involved. Yeah, I wouldn't cut OJ. Antonio's stock is going down. It is going to plummet. Now, we got to see if there's any It's being reported on Pro Football Talk. Not that they've always been right or anything, but that's a pretty big outlet for this to be reported on. So I think by the time you wake up in the morning, his value, you won't be able to trade Antonio Brown any longer for Mike Evans. So that should have been taken care of in my buy low, sell high video and last night's CBS Sports radio show that I broadcast live every Wednesday here on the Fantasy Football Show here on youtube.com/the Fantasy Football Show. Please subscribe if you have not hit the subscribe button yet, and hit the bell notification, because you won't know when I go live and you'll miss out on these kind of interactions. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit it right now. And that way we are connected and you're a part of this community. What about Reed if he comes back? Reed? You talking about Jordan Reed? So please hit the thumbs up. Please hit the subscribe button. And then make sure you join me every Wednesday, every single Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern for a whole hour on CBS Sports Radio. I go live here on the YouTube channel. And we talked about this. And I said, sell Antonio Brown. Why aren't you selling Antonio Brown? Why are you going to wait for this thing to implode? The next shoe will drop. When will the next shoe drop? Not if, when. AB for Gordon, I mean. Manning says, just put in a trade for Gordon. AB for Gordon, yes. Go get Melvin for AB. I would. If I'm wrong, so be it. I'll take that risk all day long at this point. This guy's a walking nightmare and potentially going to leave you with 0. And it might be in week 4. He might not play week 4. 3. He might not play week 3. Jordan Reed, is Reed already out again? Or are you talking about from the last concussion? Did he not come back? Isn't he supposed to come back this week? John Ross for McLaurin. Reed is a better option if he's going. John Ross for McLaurin. Yeah, I take McLaurin. I'm glad I have Monty and Godwin as my backups if AB goes to the list, so I'm not panicking. Yes, DeMar. Hey, DeMar, you can maybe trade him for David Johnson. Just a thought. I mean, David Johnson is like in that lower tier. You know where Kamara is, and then like next tier below that. You know where Cook and Kamara are? So you have Cook, then you have Kamara, then you have like 4 or 5 players, then you have DJ. That's where you could maybe have gotten a guy like DJ for AB. Nobody wants to give up anything for the value for AB. No longer can you get anything for AB. You could have got a struggling Mike Evans. You could have got a struggling Mike Thomas, even if you had to give up a little more. You could have got a struggling Kamara, even if you gave up a lot more, but enough that it makes sense. Now, good luck tomorrow. Review that. DJ over Delphic, yeah. Yeah, right is right. But DeMar's still our guy. But we make fun of DeMar on that. Smitty needs some help. Would you trade Evans for Juju? Half PPR. I probably do. I like Juju a little more. Should I trade Carry-On and Cooks for Michael Thomas? No. Cooks. He said Dalvin Cook. Carry-On and Cooks for Michael Thomas? Yeah, I would. Even though some might think that's a lot, I would do that. Got offered Devonta Adams, Melvin Gordon, and Cortland Sutton for Thielen, Gurley, and DK. Devonta Adams, Melvin Gordon, Sutton for Thielen, Gurley. No way in hell, Kevin. Kevin, I'm doing this for your own good. Adams, Melvin Gordon. I mean, okay, so let me preface this. Right now, of course, Adams, if you take Gordon out of it, Thielen, Gurley, and DK is could be arguable for Evans, honestly. I would consider taking Adams for just Adams alone for Thielen, Todd Gurley, and DK. And I'd probably be called a little crazy for that, or maybe not in here in this chat room. But I like Adams that much, and I don't like Gurley, I think he leaves you hanging. I like Thielen, but he's a level below Adams. And DK, I'm not that big of a fan of. So to me, I would give that up for Devonta. You're getting Melvin Gordon as well. Go get that. Shame on you for not doing it already, Kevin. But then pat yourself on the back for a job well done once you complete that trade, because you are on your way, young man. Should you play Witten this week or Randall Cobb? I don't know, man. Coin toss, that stuff. Cobb, I guess. Manning says, which 3 wide receivers would you start this week? Julio, Ridley, Lockett, Hardman, Robinson. My running backs are Carson, Henry, Connor. I start 2 wide receivers and a running back and 1 flex. So you're starting Julio for sure. You're starting Ridley for sure. And then your third one has to be Lockett if you're playing it safe and using like logic of, I don't want to go take some huge risk, but Robinson has massive upside and the risk to get you 0. So Lockett safer, go Lockett. But if you want a home run and you want to roll that dice and you're a dice rolling machine, then Robinson would be kind of a fun roll, but Lockett safer by far. And you probably played Henry. Connor's hurt. Carson's fumbling. So I think that would be your best bet. O.J. Howard or Tyler Boyd, and Tyler Boyd for Ingram. I would rather have Boyd and Howard. I like Ingram, and I think he might do really well with Jones, but I don't know that I'm willing to throw Howard away yet, and I like Boyd a lot. But that's arguable if you have the depth at wide receiver to make that work. Watkins over Godwin. No, Godwin. Metcalf over, I assume you mean Tyrell Williams. I go with Tyrell. Review that. I don't know what you're pointing at. Review that. DK. Oh, I think you're pointing up to your DK. TY. Edelman. Brown. Sit 1. Sit Edelman. Unless AB's out. If AB's ruled out before week 3 plays, probably sit John Brown for Edelman, maybe. But you're still okay sitting Edelman and putting in Brown. It's decent. Edelman if he goes over Hardman. If not, then I might even still lean Edelman, but I like Hardman a little bit. Does anyone here remember the Beast Dome Challenge, says Joyce. I do remember, and he lost big time because he said that Hyde would take Damian Williams' job, and Hyde got traded away because they didn't even want him. So he lost that bet massively. Doesn't even matter what happens to the other players because that was not what he even wanted to talk about. Do you think any of the big name wide receivers will finish top 10 like they projected to? Because of now, none of them are top 10 wide receivers. None of the top 10 wide receivers are in the top 10. I can't read tonight. I'm so tired. Mood, I always appreciate your super chatting. You're awesome. So appreciative of what you do. I think that in 2 weeks, man, people are they've got these knee-jerk reactions every year. I'm not saying you necessarily, Mood, but it's a buy and loan time. I love it. It bothers me to hear the same questions over and over. I shouldn't say bothers me, but it's hard to answer the same question over and over. Hey, Smitty, do you think Mike Evans should be dropped? And I'm like, oh my God, no. Hey, Smitty, do you think I should trade Mike Thomas for Hollywood Brown? I like Hollywood Brown. I'm not knocking Hollywood Brown, but what are you thinking, people? Did I miss another super chat? I got moods. I'm looking. And Mood, don't worry, I'm still going to answer your question. I just want to make sure I don't lose a super chat.
Is it moods that you're talking about? Because I'm answering it right now. I know we got a little delay, too. I still got to go to the store tonight. Damn it. I don't see it. I see moods. Are you talking about mood super chat? Okay, so mood, I think that it's 2 weeks in, man. I'm not worried about anything. When we used to play fantasy football and not saying you got owned at all, but Beastome had some good points. About who, though, because they traded him. What was I saying, Mood? What's up, Xavier? I don't know. Mood, all I'm going to say is it's 2 weeks in, and guys struggle for 4 and 5 weeks sometimes and still come back and go crazy. So I wish I could take you to the store, but I've already started the live on my computer and I'd have to go to my phone. Yeah, Mood was the last super chat. Okay, I got him. So Mood, I'd say this. I'd say I think Mike Evans returns to the bottom of the top 10. I mean, 2 weeks of disadvantage to get into the top 10. You know, maybe he finishes with like 12 or something like that. But Mike Evans is going to be top, 5. All those guys, the normal guys, will return to the top 5. I don't think Hollywood Brown's going to be in the top 5. Could he be top 10 to 15? He could. I like Hollywood. But the odds are that these guys struggling are going to return to form. That game did suck tonight, Manning. Absolutely. Devin Smith playable, kind of. Jarvis Landry and AP for Hyde, I guess. Taco Thursday for the Finns. This is a strong question. I like your inquiry. Yeah, it's a good question, Mood. That's why I've left it up and kind of been like poking around at it. Let me look at my rankings. Let's pull up Sleeper U rankings. Let's rank the wide receivers. Mood asks another question. Start 4 Adams, Thomas, Sanders, Evans, Cooks. Mood. Let's get you. And do you have Hill? Is this the one where you have Hill? Tyreek Hill? Adams is a lock. Mike Thomas is a lock, so they're not even questioning. And Evans is a lock. You just lock them in. So it's coming down to Cooks and Sanders. I'm not even questioning Evans, Thomas, or Adams. How did you even get those receivers? Until Miles Sanders gets a grip on some jobs, I think you go with Cooks. I think that's an easy call. Even if Sanders does well, I don't regret it. I just know that once Sanders gets into the mix, then you have a tougher call on your hands, but I don't worry about it. Casual 310 on both my phones and PS4 for you, Smitty. Casual 310. What's that mean? What's that mean, Adrian? Damn, Mood, you got Hill on that team too. That's crazy. Thomas is a lock. Mike Thomas, absolutely. Xavier, is Thomas a lock to start this week or to be in the top 10? I'm not sure what you're... If you mean to start, you don't ever sit Mike Thomas. I don't care who his quarterback is. First of all, Bridgewater's efficient enough. Good job buying low on Mike Evans' Mood. That's fantastic. Bridgewater is efficient enough. Hill is also kind of a sneaky QB to keep defenses honest. We're gonna see. Mike Thomas, I think, have a really good stat line come end of year. Does he struggle getting the TDs that he probably would have had while Breeze is out? Maybe. but I think Mike Thomas finds a way to get fed. Hopkins did amazing before he had Watson. It's funny when you take a QB away from a receiver, you assume he'll do bad, but then when a QB doesn't have, or a receiver doesn't have a really, really good QB, he can still be considered awesome. I got another super chat here. Nestor, do the wide receiver rankings. I was excited for that. Okay, cool. Thank you, Nestor. This is sleeperu.com. See the sign right here? That's mine. I own it. It's me. Dodgers going crazy over there. Let's look at the rankings. This is redraft. These are the QBs. We might need to drag some around. I need to do an update, by the way, so we can, you can help me make that update. But Mahomes for me is locked in. He's like a tier by himself. Let's actually go full screen here. Let's get the schedule out of my face. It is late, Jesse. So Mahomes, locked in. Watson, these are my top 2 QBs without question. We should do a weekly rankings show. So Nestor, good call. I think I need to do this every single week. So maybe every Thursday we'll go through this rankings on sleeperu.com, drag and drop rankings that I have on the site. If you don't have sleeperu.com, what the hell are you doing? Damian Williams for Evans. Yes, Lewis, and take a lap for that question because Evans is worth more. And fantastic job doing it. Lamar Jackson is 5 here. And you could argue that he's here. I would have no problem with that. Rodgers is there for me. And I think Rodgers breaches this tier, but he's still slightly below. And I think Watson's the only one that can sometimes dance with Mahomes. So he'll dance with Mahomie. This is their little dance they do. Mahomes leads, though. But they dance around. This could happen. These two could dance. And Brady, I'm sure, can dance with these guys. But I don't think anybody's going to overtake Mahomes at any point. Maybe Watson outscores him or Rodgers here or there. I mean, anybody has a bad week. But Mahomie's going to be up there by himself all year. And Watson's the only guy. I go get Watson. I go get him now. If you missed out on getting Mahomie, shame on you for listening to the fools out there in the industry that continue to regurgitate, you can't take a QB early. Do you realize that the QB 8 is as good as the QB 17? They're like 4 points apart, Smitty. Oh, yeah? Well, how do you like 6 TDs, 5 TDs, 4 TDs, those kinds of TD numbers out of your QB? Because for me, I kind of like my Mahomie to drop 4 and 5 TDs a game. That's how I sleep at night. Lamar and Brady, interchangeable here. Amazing. I was wrong on Lamar. I admit it. I did not have Lamar here. I had Lamar here. I didn't trust him. I still worry about him, but he ranks in this range. There's no reason you can't rank Lamar at 4 or 5. There's no reason. And somebody might tell me, hey, he's 2, whatever. And I'm okay with that if you want to do that. Brady, I could argue, without AB, Brady falls below Lamar. If Brady still has AB, in my opinion, Brady's here. Without AB, so if we wake up tomorrow morning or before we're off of this live, AB's on the commissioner exempt list, Brady drops to 5. Russell Wilson, you could argue, in this range. Baker, I think Baker still has a chance to be that good, but I would not be shocked if I myself drop Baker all the way down, to here if he continues to play bad. But for right now, oops. No, I didn't mean to move Mahomie. Right now, we'll leave it like this. Dak needs. Why is Dak down there? Did I bump Dak down on accident? Dak could be argued right here. What do you guys think about Dak placement at 6, 5 or 6? You guys okay with that? I think that's where Dak needs to go. So you let me know where you think Zach should be. Dak. I think 6 or 7's good. I think it's respectable. Please rate my team, says Austin. Josh Allen, Cooks, Tyler Lockett, Boyd, Mike Williams, Nick Chubb, Dalvin Cook, carry on. Who's your QB? Allen, Josh Allen. So Allen, Boyd, Dalvin. I think you're a trade away from being a contender, Austin. So try and trade. If Miles Sanders gets going, you could trade him. Darwin starts starting games, you could trade him. Dalvin Cook, don't trade him. Chubb, I would trade him if you could sell him high, but you probably can't. Yeah, that's respectable. Smitty, you sleeping on Wilson. I could be told I'm sleeping on anybody here because everybody's going to look at Wilson's so overrated, says Nathan. We're going to be back and forth on those guys. DeMar says 7. Matty Ice is above Baker and Goff. 6 is about right for Dak, says Doobie. I'm gonna put him right there. Goff, I'm gonna say Mayfield here for now, but I wouldn't be shocked if I moved Mayfield down. Goff, I think, is good here. Wilson's good here. I'm okay with Wilson there. Carson's, I think, 10 to 12. I'm not putting Carson inside my top 9. I'm just not. Matt Ryan, you could even put above Carson Wentz because Carson Wentz, I feel like, is going to get hurt. I like him per start, but I think he's going to get hurt. Wentz over Goff all day, says Jared. Baker 6, Dak 7. Wilson is a runaway. Is in the runaway. Wilson is in a run heavy. Where did I get runaway? I'm so tired. I still got to get to the store. Matt Ryan. Look at where I have Rudolph. Look at where little Rudolph is. Right, you can't see it, that's why. Look at Rudolph at 15. Little Mason Rudolph. Josh Allen, too. Yeah, like here, I don't know what to do here. I mean, between Brissett, Garoppolo, so you guys can see. So, Garoppolo, Brissett, Stafford, Rivers, Winston, Drew Brees, because, he should be dropped lower, actually, because of the injury. But I bumped him down a lot, but he probably needs to go a little lower. But I still have him there because he's going to return. So it's hard to rank him in a looking forward ranking sense, because that's what these are, looking forward rankings. These aren't week 3 rankings. These are looking forward rankings. And Brees will return, so it's hard to really slot him. No one's happy with where you put an injured player. But for me, the reason I put him Brees there is because I don't like Winston right now. Rivers is okay, Stafford's okay, but Brees, when he comes back, I think it's going to be worth, owning. But Rudolph, I have Rudolph above Brees. I love Rudolph. I think Rudolph's going to be better than people think. I might even move Rudolph like right here. I think Kyler Murray because of his running ability, Josh Allen because of his running ability and improving passing ability. These are all guys that like you could rank at 11 or 16. Yeah, Minshew could be pretty darn good. Or he could be a flop. We don't know yet. So my top 10, I think Wentz deserves to be in the conversation there, but I think 10 to 11 is about right. Allen deserves to be in the conversation, but I think 10 to 11 is about right for him. And then it's Rudolph, Kyler Murray, kind of on the outside of that top 12. But between 7 and 10, you could argue any of these guys, no question about it. And if we go to running backs, and we'll leave receivers for another day, go to running backs. So right now, I think Elliot, Cooke, you could argue Cooke is 2, 3, or 4. I think Kamara drops below Cooke for the moment, but I still don't think Cooke is out of the top 5. You could argue McCaffrey's 1. You could argue he's 2. You could argue Barkley's 1. I have no problem with that. I think Elliott will get it going just like he did. Remember, Elliott turned it on the second half of the season in 2018 and finishes like the number 1 running back during that stretch. He was insane. So don't think because Elliott has been struggling a little bit to get going coming off the holdout that he can't explode down the stretch. But I wouldn't be opposed with Daniel Jones being under center now, putting Barkley at 1. I'd be okay with that. And I'm okay with this if you want. But I'll put him at that order. I'll put Cook at 4. I think having Cook any lower than 4 or 5 is crazy. McCaffrey. David Johnson's arguable at 6. Lev Bell is also arguable at 6. I think James Conner is a huge risk, so he's all the way down past 12, way past 12, or way past 10, like 12, 13, 14, 15, somewhere around that range. I'd probably even move Mac above Conner at this point. Let me do that now, actually. Mixon's at 11, and I feel uncomfortable with that. No DJ disrespect, ha, says the Maverick. CMC 1, review that. That's true. Zeke number 1, Kamara 6. See, we're all over the map on this, and we're a pretty like-minded group, but we're all over the map. That's the way it is after 2 weeks with players struggling. Kamara 5, Chubb 6, DJ 8, or Chubb 7, Kamara 6, Bell 5. If Dalvin Cook stays healthy, I think he's the number 1 running back, says Jake. No Eckler. Eckler's got a, this is moving forward rankings, Nestor. They're not week 3 rankings, so Eckler is on the cusp of like 12 to 15 because he has an expiration date potentially. And I don't have Melvin Gordon raised up here yet, but Melvin Gordon soon could be above David Johnson in my rankings. You need to drop Mixon. I have Mixon at 11, and yeah, I feel uncomfortable with that. I'll drop him down to 13. And I don't like Mixon. I don't own him anywhere. I almost have to rank him by default in a certain place so that I don't want people thinking that I've missed him. I don't even like him. Poor Dodger. He's howling. So I think Monty might look high to some people. You could argue Jacobs or Mack over him, but I think Monty's going to earn that soon. I think Derrick Henry is kind of dropping in my eyes. I might even do this. I know that's not going to go over well with people, but Derrick Henry's feeling more like a 12 to 15 guy right now. I'm just not feeling it. Bell at 6 I like a lot. I'll lock him in there. David Johnson at 7, I'll lock him in there. Chubb I still like at 8. Montgomery at 9. Jacobs at 10. Or Mack. I could even go Mack there. That's kind of how I feel about the running backs right now. This is looking forward rankings. It's not week 3. It's looking forward. So from today, if you were drafting, this is how I'd draft them. All right. We have 220 in the room and 124 thumbs up. Help the channel. Punch it. Punch it. Gordon above DJ. You serious, Smitty? DeMar, not right now. Do you see him there? Do you see him there? Even the cat's upset. He's like, what are you talking about? Do you see him there? When Gordon comes back, DeMar, yes, I have Gordon over DJ, and I am serious. And I don't think you're going to get that many people to disagree with me once Gordon's back. Right now, Gordon's not back. So everyone's got this, he's not, he's not back. I don't see it. I don't feel it. But once Gordon starts, there's even a hint that this guy's returning to football. Remember, he was number 5. Thank you, Xavier. He was number 5 in all drafts across almost every format. I'm not drafting Demont over Eckler, says Ryan. But what if Gordon comes back in week 5, week 6? Like, you're really going to draft Eckler over David Montgomery when you might only get 2 more games out of him, 3 more, 4 more as a starter? Will he be used? Yeah, but he'll be in a sharing situation. Jake, I can't wait for that Monty pick to pay off. I agree. No, says DeMar. No. Julio for Kamara. Would that be a fair trade? I'd take Kamara. I'm not freaking out like everybody. Alexander Madison is legit if Cook gets hurt. Yeah, Alexander Madison is a low-end running back 1. DeMar says Gordon won't be top 10. So you must, and it's fine if you want to argue that, if you must think that Gordon will just he'll struggle to stay healthy, or he won't be the same back. And I can understand that thinking. Do I think Gordon holds out all year? No, I do not. I think now's the time to buy. Your window, just like I preached it over and over. So if you're an AB owner in here and you didn't get rid of AB at top 5 value, which you could have got a week ago, there's nothing I can do but just yell it as loud as I can. As much as you should have traded AB and gotten that value, I'm saying the same thing about trading low for Gordon before. Right now, people fear he might not come back. They feel it. They're lost. Maybe they're 1-1 or 0-2, and they're like, I can't wait on Melvin. I gotta get rid of him for something. You won't be able to get a Melvin Gordon for a Hollywood Brown ever again for the remainder of the season once we get a hint that Gordon's coming back. Right now you can get Melvin Gordon, top 6 running back, or if you want to call him top 7, top 8, right now for elite wide receiver 3 value. That's insane. Go trade for Melvin Gordon now. I can't emphasize enough. This feels exactly like trade Antonio Brown now at top 5 value while you can. This feels exactly like that. I'm going to call it for the night, guys. Please hit that thumbs up on your way out. All the comments will be available in the live chat, but the comments below the video will be at 0 once this video publishes and processes and is up on YouTube. So that's your chance to ask me a question when there's no questions there. So please interact with the channel. Post a comment. Comments help the channel a ton. Ask me a question in the comment. And please subscribe if you haven't. If you're new and you're watching, hit subscribe so that you know when I go live. Hit the bell so you know when I go live. And every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, you can catch me doing my live CBS Sports radio show that I broadcast live here on youtube.com/The Fantasy Football Show. And if you ever get lost, you just head on over to thefantasyfootballshow.com. It'll take you right to the show. So I'll see you guys live every Sunday morning, 1 hour before kickoff. I go live here on YouTube. Another reason you should subscribe right now and hit the bell, because you can ask me questions 1 hour before kickoff, the entire morning, the entire hour heading into kickoff. So I will see you probably before then, but I will see you definitely on Sunday morning, 1 hour before kickoff in the morning to talk start, bench, and all of that. So thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for all the super chats.